Hello everybody, it's Alex here, and I just wanted to make this video. First of all, I know that I have this fan running right here. That'll happen. That'll happen when it's like 85 degrees outside and there's no air conditioning in my college dorm. As you can see, I'm back at college. I'm back in Massachusetts, so that's why I'm filming in a new location. But I just want to make this video to first of all say thank you, everybody. I have gained almost 300 subscribers in the last 2 days. Just for context, this time last week I was at 67. Now I have 367. I gained 300 subscribers in the last 7 days. That is amazing, and I'm just so grateful for you all, and I'm just grateful for everybody who's been watching my videos, everybody who's been leaving a like, leaving a comment. And I especially need to give a thank you to Mike Figueredo over at the Humanist Report, because he gave me a shout out last week in his Dystopian Times video, and he posted that video to YouTube, like the clip video of the shout out, yesterday. And that's how I got all these subscribers so quickly. So I owe him. Thank you so much, Mike, if you happen to be watching this. I love your show. I love the work you do. Keep creating. And thank you so much for helping to grow the leftist movement by featuring small content creators, because we need to grow a left-wing media apparatus if we want to counter the incredible power that corporate media has. So with that in mind, I wanted to do something on here. I wanted to make some kind of video to celebrate this. The fact that I've gained so many subscribers. Because we have so many new subscribers, I thought about like what do I want to do to celebrate? And I decided I'm going to make a video kind of explaining, in a somewhat condensed form, my political journey. I talked about this in a while ago, actually, so if you want to see a more in-depth explanation, you can go check out my appearance on Dirty Left Feet from Niall Elcom versus the World, right over here. I give like a much more long-winded explanation on that. So I'm going to give a little bit more of a condensed one here and like just explain like how I got interested in the process and what led me to become a leftist that I am today. So I've always been interested in politics from a young age. As I've mentioned before on this channel, I am autistic, specifically have Asperger's syndrome. So because of that, I have very narrow set of interests. And it's almost like I wouldn't say it's like I'm hyper-focused on them, but I tend to focus on them pretty intricately, I suppose you could say. And politics has always been that for me. I think really ever since like 2009, 2010, I've been interested in it to some extent. Back then, I was really mostly interested in the theatrics of it, I suppose you could say, and the candidates and elections. I wasn't really paying attention too much to the policy substance. But I remember following closely the 2012 presidential election, and I was like 9 and 10 years old when that happened, which, wow, I'm only 19 years old, but I feel pretty damn old right now. To anybody older than 19 watching this, I apologize. But, yeah, so I followed that election pretty closely, and because I didn't know a single damn thing about politics back then, I was a Republican. I supported Mitt Romney. Although, interestingly enough, I mostly I mostly was hoping that like down ballot Democratic candidates would win, but I wanted like in the Senate races and stuff. But I wanted Romney to win the presidential election, and I don't know why. Mostly because I grew up in a pretty ancestrally Republican town. I mean, it shifted to the left recently as part of the suburban shift caused by Trump. Like it voted for like in 3 of the last 4 elections, it voted Democratic. In fact, in the last election, Biden won it with 60% of the vote. After, aside from the 3-way race of 1992, it had not voted Democrat since the LBJ landslide of 1964. But it voted for Obama the first time. It voted for Mitt Romney when Obama ran the second time. Then it voted for Hillary in 2016, and again Biden with over 60% of the vote in 2020. So I was paying attention to that, and my interest kind of came in and out for a while, but then 2015 rolled around, and I'm a Boy Scout, specifically an Eagle Scout, And so I was taking a merit badge while I was at summer camp in 2015 when I was 13 years old. I had to write a letter to an elected official about an issue. And I wrote to one of my U.S. senators at the time, and he's still one of my senators today, Richard Blumenthal, because I live in Connecticut. I wrote to him about the issue of student loans because, I was young, so I figured, hey, why not? And then a few weeks later, this is like the end of June, so sometime in July or August, I think July though, my mom told me about Bernie Sanders. At this time, I was probably one of only like 300 people who knew who he was, because this was back when he was running in the summer of 2015 when he just announced. Nobody knew who the hell he was. But my mom told me about how he wanted to make college free for everybody. And that was really my introduction to him. And so I followed that primary pretty closely, and I paid attention to it, and I was rooting for him. So obviously I was upset when he didn't get the nomination, but I was like, you know what? Trump is horrendous. And I think back then I want to say I hated Trump more back then than I do now, but I don't know. I feel like I just kind of bought into the he's the next Hitler thing back then, which in hindsight I probably shouldn't have. That's not to say Trump is good. No, obviously not. And you'll never hear me defend Trump on here, but I mean, I think back then I just was a little hyperbolic, I suppose you could say. I don't know. I'm trying not to downplay how horrendous Trump is, but you tell me if I'm succeeding or not. But yeah, bottom line, I supported Hillary because she wasn't Trump, and when she lost, I was freaking terrified for the future of the country. And this happened around my freshman year of high school when Trump won. I was 14 at the time. So during my sophomore year, I began getting more involved in politics. I was phone banking for candidates. I was paying attention to certain issues. I know at the end of 2017, there was a whole net neutrality thing. And at this point, I was a card-carrying Democrat. I would support who the Democrats were, but I was definitely more from the progressive wing of the party. And, I just got to say that I knew who Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was before she even won her primary, so take that. Because I knew she was endorsed by Justice Democrats. I'm probably one of only, I don't know how many people who knew who she was before she was a congresswoman. But then again, probably a lot of leftists did if they paid attention to Justice Democrats, but whatever. I still knew her before most other people, so take that. So I was really happy to see that. That was a confidence boost, to say the least. And I spent the late summer and fall phone banking for a bunch of Democratic candidates for Congress, for Senate. And then the Democrats obviously take the House. I thought that was good. And then throughout 2019 and 2020, I was following religiously the presidential race, obviously. I was back to supporting Bernie. And, this, I think, was really when I started to meet people at my high school who were like-minded politically to me and who were also leftists in their beliefs. Most of them were even further to the left than me. And since then, they kind of distanced themselves from Bernie, well, to say the least. So this was good because I actually found some people to get involved with, some people to do activism with, and we did. And we did a pretty good job, I gotta say. We were young, we had a direction. I mean, I'm still a young man with a direction, but back then even more so. And yeah, it was great to meet these people with like-minded perspectives. Now that I'm at college, I got the chance to do that even more. But we're getting ahead of ourselves here. That's kind of down the line later on. But then this happens, and then Bernie, I spend all my energy and efforts with help trying to get Bernie elected, text banking, phone banking, doing all that. Not donating because I was only 17 at the time. I technically could have donated, but I'm a goody two-shoes, so I don't do that. And, I still remember that. I still remember when he swept the first three contests, won the popular vote in Iowa, won in New Hampshire, and then that absolutely crushing win in Nevada. I still remember that. And then from there on out, it all came crashing down one by one. The moderates dropped out. Moderates, really, they're the extremists, because like, what's a moderate position having only a few people, only a couple thousand people die every year because of lack of access to healthcare? If that's the moderate position, I don't want to be a moderate. But they're among other reasons. But don't worry, I'll talk more about this on my channel someday. I'm sure I will. They dropped out. They endorsed Biden. Biden ends up winning. I am absolutely devastated by this, because it's like, did we just not learn anything from 2016? He's the exact same candidate as Hillary Clinton, except he's a guy. Which, to be fair, some people say, okay, well, that might be enough for him to win. Take that for what you will. But I was pissed off because like nobody was learning their lesson. It looked like. At the end of the day, I was like, okay, fine, I'll vote for Biden. I really don't want to, and I feel like voting for him would I'd be selling myself out a little bit, but I was just like, fine, I'll do it because Trump sucks, and like this was when COVID was first happening, so I was like, okay, fine. And then I hear like he's accused of sexual assault by Tara Reid and Democrats, because they were so principled when it came to people like Brett Kavanaugh, who were accused of sexual assault, and they demanded that his nomination be rejected by the Senate. You would guess that they would come out vociferously and tell Joe Biden to drop out and give the nomination to a non-sexual assaulter, right? Wrong! Of course that doesn't happen, because they're hypocrites. I mean, I knew they were hypocrites, but this was just brazen beyond belief, excuse me. So I was just like, screw you guys, and I'm definitely not voting for Biden. And again, for the record, I live in Connecticut, not a swing state. Biden was always going to win there by a landslide, and he did, 20 points. And not only did I not vote for Biden, I mean, later on down the election, I did reconsider my decision, especially with the passing of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and also Trump threatening to throw out the mail-in ballots. Especially me, because I'm at college, so I had to vote by mail. Unless I wanted to go back to Connecticut for like a couple hours, which I wasn't going to do. But I ended up voting for Howie Hawkins, the Green Party candidate. And, I still stand by that vote to this day. In fact, with a lot of Biden's actions, I think I've become vindicated in that vote. Now, I'll give him credit for where it's due for his pulling out of Afghanistan, but I think he's just I don't know. I'm rambling here at this point, but I tend to do that, if you can't tell. So, yeah, but not only did I not vote for Biden, I straight up abandoned my Democratic Party registration. Like, the only reason I'd registered Democrat in the first place was to vote for Bernie in the primary, but once that was over, I changed my registration to independent or unaffiliated, because I'm just like, okay, I'm not going to condone this, brazen and brash hypocrisy. Seriously, what the hell is wrong with you people? So, I left that, and I, again, stand by that decision to this day. And also, this was, around the time, when COVID hit, around, the end of 2019, I began to, really research a lot of money in politics, because I, wanted to make the connections between members of Congress votes and, their campaign donors, and I actually started a blog about that. I'll put a link to it down below. I haven't updated it since last October, because I had election fatigue, so I just said I was going to stop for a while, and I stopped for too long to ever really get back into it. But I'll probably do more money and politics stories on this channel eventually. So, really, as I began to look at how much money Democrats were taking from, Wall Street banks, from the defense contractors, from health insurance and Big Pharma, I really just began to realize that these parties, even more so than I initially thought, were two sides of the same coin. And I think that was really apparent when the COVID relief bills were passed. When there was just a blank check for bailouts for billionaires and corporations, and crumbs for the working people. What was it, a one-time $1,200 check? This was early on in the pandemic. So, and even to see nominally left Congress people like Bernie and AOC vote for it, that really, I think, was an awakening for me that these parties, even if the Democratic Party is marginally better, the difference isn't, it's not big enough for that to really matter. So it's negligible. And that was an awakening for me, and yeah. So that's when I really so I wouldn't really say that I've like moved to the left really so much as I've just become more aware of the fact that the Democrats really don't care about getting stuff implemented. In fact, I've said it before, they'd be perfectly happy to lose from here on out because they want the credit for proposing good policies, but they don't want to do the work to piss off their donors and fight for them. So I think having that awakening really, that was a defining moment for me in my political journey. And so after the 2020 election, I wanted to redirect a lot of my focus into direct action, like issues advocacy. And I got the chance to do that when my spring semester started for my freshman year here at college. I got to join MassPIRG, the Massachusetts Public Interest Research Group, which is a group that's active across many college campuses across Massachusetts and also America too, because like PIRG is nationwide, and it was co-founded by a fellow nutmegger, Ralph Nader, who did not spoil the election for Al Gore in 2000. Don't at me. And I was ecstatic when I had this opportunity to join because it just felt like they were pushing for specific issues. They had a plan to fight for them, and they have a proven track record of success. And like that's what I look for in like a direct action group. So to join them, that was incredible. I joined their campaign to push Massachusetts to commit to 100% renewable energy. We made some pretty good progress, and I am ready to keep going back on this track this semester. And that was really a defining moment for me. And then also during my spring semester is when I started making videos for YouTube. So what really motivated me to do so? Well, I've always liked watching video essays. I've always enjoyed that. I've always enjoyed like watching like explainers on certain topics for some reason. I don't know, because I'm a dork. Don't at me. What is it, like the third time this video I've said that? What the hell is wrong with me? But that was really it's like I wanted to make political video essays. I'd done YouTube before. Like I had previously done a lot of music commentary on YouTube. Those videos are unlisted. They're on my channel. You can go check them out under like the playlist section on my channel. If you want to watch them, they're not that good. But it was really what I was known for throughout my sophomore year of high school, so they'll always be with me. I could just delete them. But so I decided I wanted to start making political videos for YouTube. And I think I decided that I was going to do this on April 19th. So then I was like, okay, now I got to go plan something for 420. So I did my video and uploaded my very first political video on April 20th of this year, and that was about Big Pharma lobbying against legalizing marijuana. And here I am today. Over 300 subscribers, and now almost like 375 by now. Hold on, let me just refresh and see if anything happened. All right, 368 right now, so we're growing. And I owe it all to you, and I owe it all to Mike from the Humanist Report for that shout out. Thank you, Mike. Thank you all, you amazing comrades, for subscribing, for watching, for liking, for commenting. I know I rambled in this video, but I tend to. Like, I just don't know how to condense. I don't know how to condense my story sometimes. So yeah, that's really my political journey. Let me know what are y'all's political journeys. Leave them in the comments below. Let me know how you got to the point where you're at right now. And I'm sure we're all gonna grow together. And also, I wanted to give you a little update about some changes I'm gonna make to this channel. Now the content I make isn't really gonna be much different, but I'm gonna organize a little more. So, because with school, I'm gonna have to rethink my video schedule, because right now I've just been kind of doing it whenever the hell I feel like it. I want to be a little more organized with that. So today's Tuesday. Every Tuesday, I'm going to be doing a discussion video, and every Friday, I'm going to be doing a video essay. Now, a video essay, it could also mean something like a video response. It could also mean a list video. like my best and worst senators from Connecticut video. That would be a Friday video. Or like my list I did with Logan about good political songs. That would be a Tuesday video because that was more of a laid back. So like the Tuesday videos are going to be more laid back, kind of like discussions like this. Friday videos are going to be more involved, like video essays, responses, stuff like that. You get the point. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and thank you all so much for subscribing. Thank you once again, Humanist Report, for the shout out. You can check out more of my discussion videos right over here, and you can check out my latest video right over here. Hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you comrades on Friday. Peace.